to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
It's the one and only queen of receipts, the dropping gems in these YouTube streets. The lawyer Royce, nowhere to go. Tune in for the infamous morning show, giving the news that you need to know. So don't you dare miss the wake-up call. Then in the evening, I got all for y'all. Get your dose of daily vitamins. You know the queen makes it make sense. So true.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Put my crew beside.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. Hey, one muscle power, beloved. All right. Juju's in the house. Walter, Claudette, Pearly. Just anticipate. Reggie is here. Deronda, Fat Boo, Lillian X. All right. Let's get into it. Anita Harrell. Okay. Everybody hit that like button. It doesn't cost you a single thing. You can do it absolutely for free. Red Wine Entertainment is here. Truth Brown, Jeff ATL. Okay. So let's get this party started. We have a lot to cover, guys. Most hated bronze flat power God is in the house. Okay. We have a lot to cover. I see you, Alice, the lovely T. So, hey, Pearly, if I didn't say you, Terry Brown, Sugar Melanin is here. Christopher Perkins, Easy. All right, Eric Green. Shout out to all of my loyal royals. And a big shout out to my moderators because they put in work. And shout out to everyone tuned into the Queen. So let's get this party started.
Now, for those of you who missed last night's broadcast that I did kind of late, when I talked about Billy Carson, well, now the Queen's getting sued. The Queen's getting sued, guys. Billy Carson said he's suing. Billy Carson said he's suing any and everybody who made videos about him. That's what the word is on the streets. And it's getting real ugly out here, you guys. And now he's been further exposed because somebody posted, alleged, let me say alleged paperwork of his arrest. Now, I didn't say anything about him getting arrested last night, even though I'd heard about it. I didn't say a word about it, but somebody posted the receipts, and it's a certified copy. So we're going to get into that later. Billy Carson, please don't sue the Queen. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. Lily X say what? No, Queen, so ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Y'all know how I do when people start talking about suing, honey. I don't care because all I tell is the truth and facts. And if it's not the truth or facts or anything that I can substantiate, I say that. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's talk about Jay-Z first of all, because it is all nefarious. Jay-Z's out here acting like Basquiat, and he's been doing it for years. But why has he been doing it? That's the question. Well, I'm going to answer that. Okay, but before I do, everyone please hit that like button. Before I do, let's talk about how the NFL is standing beside Jay-Z. Now, 50 said days ago that he thought this was going to be the end of his ties or his relationship with the NFL. And you see, I didn't think so. And the reason I didn't think so is because those of you who've been following me from day one, you may remember that a few years ago, I think it was in 2020 or 2021, where I talked about the sex trafficking that a certain NFL player was alleged to have been involved in down there in Florida, okay, at the Mar-a-Lago. Okay, at the Mar-a-Lago. So please pay attention. And so, yeah, birds of a feather is all I'm saying. Okay, so with that all being said, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And by the way, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, Twitter at DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, honey, you already know what to do. You can exit stage left. All right, and don't let the virtual doorknob hit you on the way out. Please keep your comments in the chat respectful. Okay, no promoting of other channels unless given permission. And let me say shout out to Too Strong. Okay, Too Strong was in the chat last night. I didn't even see that he was in here until I went back to go through some of you all's comments. And some of you all had some nefarious comments in here. And I saw that somebody said, Queen, Tisa copied your receipts again. Let me tell y'all something. We're going to let Tisa slide. She's my protege, clearly. She's my apprentice, okay? And so, like I told you guys, when somebody is authentic and original, of course, you're going to be copied. So let's not worry about that. I'm going to stop going in on her for copying because, at the end of the day, she's copying from the best. So with that all being said, and it's not even really about people copying me. It's just the fact that they don't shout me out. All these people who copy me and don't shout me out, I've shouted them out a myriad of times, Tisa included, Tough News TV, okay, who came right behind me and did the story about why Jay-Z is going down. My whole talking points and spiel. Someone informed me yesterday, but I shouted out Tough News plenty of times. But that's okay. Nobody wants to shout out the Queen, honey. That's why I have my songs that play at the beginning about my haters, okay? Listen to this. Now, Jay-Z's relationship with NFL not changing. Roger Goodell, they say they're not changing. Roger Goodell declares as the rapper faces the grape allegation, including for the next Super Bowl. Let me tell y'all something. Here's the thing. They're not going to fall out with Jay-Z, like I said, because birds of a feather, okay? Some of those same folks were accused in that little incident down there in Florida. And now, and here's another thing for you to keep in mind. If they are, having any problems with Jay-Z, you think they're going to put that on blast? No, they're not. They're going to act as though it's a united front. And we all know, here's the thing. I want you all to think about how they're sticking with Jay-Z. Now, this is what you should ask yourselves. If they're going to stick by Jay-Z, what about these other black players who've gotten accused of things? Right? Remember the young man, Keon, I can't remember his name. It was a few years ago. Remember when he pushed the girl out of the hotel room? and how they went in on him. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Somebody drop his name in the chat if you remember the scenario, because I reported on it. He pushed the girl out of the hotel room because she was trying to fight her way in, basically. He didn't do it to hurt her or out of malice, but she was underaged. He was trying to do the right thing, not allow her to come in there. Okay, do y'all remember that? Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. But so anyway, let's get into it. Now, here's what they have to say. In business, it's business as usual with the NFL when it comes to Jay-Z. Commissioner Roger Goodell told media members Wednesday that the league's relationship with the rapper accused of rape in an amended lawsuit this week has not changed. Now I want you all to think about something else that I reported to you years ago. Back in 2020, I showed you the clip, and I even showed it to you maybe last year, okay? Because I was talking about Desiree Perez, okay, the known FBI informant who heads Jay-Z's Rock Nation. All right, but remember I pointed out to you guys that when they were at that press conference when Jay-Z was stabbing Colin Kaepernick in the back, as far as I'm concerned, and saying that I think we're past kneeling, and he was making that deal with the NFL, the one he told Jermaine Dupri not to make because it wasn't a good look. Remember all that? Do you all remember how I pointed out to you that Roger Goodell was sitting next to Jay-Z, and when Jay-Z was talking, Roger was petting him? Like, good boy, good boy. Do you guys remember me telling you that? He was petting him like he was a good boy, like you would pet a dog. So it's no shock to me that Roger Goodell is going to defend Jay-Z and stand alongside him, because Jay-Z's doing exactly what Roger Goodell wants. Now, even though he may not have been doing what Bacardi, well, they wanted. So anyway, let's continue. He says, we're aware of the civil allegations and Jay-Z's really strong response to it. Okay, this is what Goodell said at the league's winter meetings. We know the litigation is happening now. From our standpoint, our relationship is not changing with him, including our preparations for the next Super Bowl. A woman suing Sean Diddy Combs for an alleged 2000 grape added Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter. And we're going to skirt past all of that. So, Rock Nation's company has produced events and activism for the NFL since 2019, with their deal recently having extended. Now, Goodell goes on to say, I think that we're getting incredibly comfortable with not just with the Super Bowl, but other events that they've advised us on and helped us with. They've been a big help in the social justice area to us on many occasions. They've been great partners. Now I want you to pay attention. Roger Goodell talking about social justice. Do you all really think that the NFL is about social justice? This is the same NFL that colluded against Colin Kaepernick. Okay? They colluded against Colin Kaepernick, and that's not alleged. All right? They settled with him. Now, so I want you all to pay attention, but now they're warriors of social justice? No. They just didn't want to lose their black fans. Okay? They just didn't want to lose their black fans. It's all just a ruse as far as I'm concerned. They're still racist as ever to me. And just think about how they choose the players. It's just like putting slaves on the auction block. Okay? You all know it's true. Now, so with that all being said, he says they've been great partners. Beyonce, Jay-Z's wife, will perform at the halftime of the Ravens-Texans matchup on Christmas. Now, the rapper called the allegations idiotic and heinous in nature in a statement, adding that they're part of an extortion attempt, even though BuzzFeed didn't say anything about cash. His lawyer filed a motion asking to dismiss the claim and to make the accuser's identity public. These claims are not about justice for victims, nor are they about giving victims of sexual violence a voice. Instead, they're merely the next chapter in attorney Tony Busby's sprawling extortion saga, a saga whose aim is based and measured in dollars, they say. Well, you know, that sounds like the pot calling the kettle black. That's what that sounds like to me. So, you know, the NFL standing by him, you know, that's good for him. That's good for him. But now Jay-Z's alleged illegitimate son has come out, Ramirez Satterwhite. He's come out and given his thoughts. So let's talk about it. He slams the rapper for denying and getting his mom pregnant at 16 years old. after the shock grape claim. Now, I want you all to pay attention because here's the thing. I told you all yesterday how former NFL player Larry Johnson said that he was at a party that Jay-Z threw, and there were kids who came in after 11 o'clock when it was night, it was late, they were playing music. Kids came in, and one of them was about 13 years old and sat next to Beyonce, and he says allegedly that Beyonce said something about, "Ooh, isn't this sexy?" So what's that all about? And then we know the other allegations we've heard about Jay-Z. And I want you all to pay attention. These are all allegations. Jay-Z maintains his innocence, as does Diddy. And all parties mentioned in this broadcast are all presumed innocent until proven guilty. Now, a 31-year-old man claims that he's the illegitimate son of Jay-Z and has been left heartbroken as the world-famous rapper's blistering response to accusations of the sexual assault of a 13-year-old girl. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, insisted he's the victim of a blackmail attempt, as he fired back at a civil lawsuit. And let me just say this too. Jay-Z was bluffing. Remember the part in the statement where he said something about you would really want them to have criminal charges, would you not? The real victims. Remember when he said that? Well, he was just bluffing. He knew there wasn't going to be any criminal charges likely. Okay, he knew that, at least not for that specific case. Past the statute of limitations. Now, with that all being said, Ramirez Satterwhite has been fighting to prove that Carter is his biological father for a decade, with his late mother, Wanda, claiming that she was 16 years old when she fell pregnant. Saying it's both heartbreaking and frustrating to see Mr. Carter respond to allegations with such deflection and attacks. My late mother, Wanda, was just 16 years old when she became pregnant with me, and for years I have sought clarity about my identity. This is not about greed or spectacle. It's about uncovering the truth and ensuring all parties are held accountable. Carter is accused of assaulting a woman who identifies as Jane Doe. This is all so sad. You know, can you imagine being in this young man's shoes for years, being told that this person is your father and never being able to substantiate it, and never having him even come and try to at least pay you a visit, sit down for a cup of coffee and have a conversation about it? Anyway, it goes on to say, it's about uncovering the truth and ensuring all parties are held accountable. Now, Carter is accused of assaulting a woman who identifies as Jane Doe in the legal documents at an MTV Video Music Awards after party in September of 2000. The lawsuit had initially been filed in New York Southern District in October against Diddy, with a refiling on Sunday that identified the rapper. Carter issued a lengthy statement to Daily Mail denying the claims made in the refiled lawsuit and insisting that he has always fought to protect children. When was all of this? When was he fighting to protect children? Does anybody remember a time ever? I'm not saying that he didn't. I just have several questions. Do any of you remember ever a time that Jay-Z was fighting to protect children? Okay, somebody spamming my chat. I'm about to put you up out of here. Okay, Chic Berber, whatever your name is, clearly spamming the chat, honey. You got to go. Moderators, when you see somebody repeatedly putting the same bull crap or just putting stuff right after that makes no sense and has nothing to do with my talking points, please, okay, do something about that. All right, because I don't have time for it. Now, people want to come here being foolish, you know, and I want you all to pay attention because as the channel continues to grow, you will find more nefariousness going on. Okay, so Royals, please make sure that you're taking care of that. Marlene says, if it's not your child, just get the test. No, you don't want Beyonce salty, talking about children, but pandering Blue Ivy, just like Diddy did his. Exactly, beloved. You're absolutely right. But see, that's the thing. I think that he absolutely doesn't want to get that test because then it will prove that he was messing around with this woman when she was only 16, further proving the rumors that many of us have heard for years and also verifying that he is, in fact, a PDF file. That's why he's been running all this time. That's exactly why, and trying to evade court orders and all of that. Now, it goes on to say Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. It says, he said his only heartbreak is for his family, particularly his oldest daughter, Blue Ivy, who's 12, who is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims. He added, I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Now, Ramir took aim at that statement, claiming that if Carter values the ideals of honor and protecting children, then he should stop refusing to acknowledge his paternity. Exactly. Okay, and what about the alleged child that they said Free had with him? You all remember Free from 106 and Park? Y'all remember that? Now, I don't know if that was just a rumor, if it had any teeth to it, but there was rumors that Free had a child by him or was at least impregnated by him. Now, I can't substantiate that, but that's what the word was on the streets. Ramir took aim at the statement, and I don't blame him. You are talking about you've always protected children, but didn't even want to help this poor young man, okay, in his youth to find out whether or not you were his biological father. So despite my efforts, Mr. Carter has never once written a letter to me to address these claims, whether to deny or acknowledge paternity or to address why his attorneys committed this fraud. If Mr. Carter values the ideals of honor and protecting children, as he claims in the letter, he should step forward with transparency. Okay, but he continues to deflect and avoid. Ramir's mother, Wanda, alleged she had sex with Jay-Z in 1992 when she was 16 and he was 22. At the time, she was in an on-again, off-again romance with her high school sweetheart, Robert Graves. The question of Ramir's paternity did not turn into a legal tussle until 2010, 2 years after Carter married Beyonce, when she requested that a Pennsylvania court make both men take a paternity test in order to determine who her son's real father was. Ramir insists that Jay-Z's legal team has made endless attempts to subvert the legal system in order to avoid taking that test. It was found that Robert had no biological relation. So it wasn't the other man. So they said it's basically more than likely Jay-Z because the other man was not. Now, the case began with a pretrial in Camden County, New Jersey on August the 13th of 2012. During the pretrial, Carter's attorney argued that Dr. Lily Colley, who has acted as Ramir's legal guardian since his mother handed over custody in 2011, had no jurisdiction over his case because it was first filed by Wanda in Pennsylvania and therefore should be heard in the same state. Now, the case was dismissed outright because Ramir was over 18 years of age at the time of the pretrial, and according to Pennsylvania state law, paternity must be established before the child reaches the age of adulthood. The court ruled that the case should be tried under New Jersey law, which states that the age of parentage is 23. Now, Carter's legal team then argued that the rapper should be exempt from undergoing a DNA test in New Jersey because he did not live or own any property in the state, despite public records linking him to homes in Alpine and Newport. Okay, please pay attention. The lies, allegedly. So Ramir has lost everything that he has brought. Oh, I'm sorry. He's lost every case that he has brought. And of course, because Jay-Z has billions. This man's a whole billionaire. Can you imagine being a regular person, just working a 9-to-5, struggling as it is and hard as life is, and then you're trying to fight somebody, you're trying to do battle in court with a billionaire? It's not going to happen. You're likely going to always lose. Ramir finished saying, I remain committed to seeking the truth and justice for myself, my mother, all those who deserve answers and accountability. Carter blasted the latest idiotic allegations against him in a lengthy statement and alleged that Texas-based attorney Tony Busby, who filed the suit, was engaged in unprofessional behavior. Let's talk about unprofessional behavior, Jay-Z. Let's talk about that because as you all remember, yesterday I reported to you guys, and you heard it here first, I'm sure, that Tony Busby claims that allegedly Jay-Z's team has been not only harassing him, but trying to bribe people, okay, into suing him and telling lies, offering them at least $1,000, okay, in some cases, to say certain things against Tony Busby, trying to discredit him. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. And like I told you, in that statement from Jay-Z, in my opinion, that was basically a thinly veiled threat when he said, I know how to handle types like you. Okay? Yeah, when he said that, that just sounded to me like a thinly veiled threat, as far as I'm concerned. That's just what it sounded like. But let's talk about that statement. Let's talk about it. Because remember what he said about code and honor and how he came from the projects, you know, how he got it from the gutter and all of that. Well, I find that all interesting. I find that all very interesting because here's the thing. What has he done for Marcy Project since he left? Has he gone back there to visit? You know, maybe he has. But he said that they protect women and children, right? Isn't that what he said? They protect women and children. Let's read his statement again so we can break it down. Let's just read the statement again. Now, here's what he said exactly. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations and the public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir. It had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud that you are in a very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. He was just bluffing right there. I just want you all, because to pay attention, that was just to make it all sound good, like he's fearless. Like, I'm ready to do battle and go to court for a criminal charge if you think you got something, but you got nothing. Jay-Z, please sit down. I'm sure he had something or he wouldn't have filed this case. Now, y'all can sit there and think this man doesn't have any receipts if you want to. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Now, these alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I have done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. Not theatrics. And this letter in itself, his statement, is in fact theatrical, in my opinion. He says, I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human being, Mr. Busby, but I promise you that I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor, and you have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit down with our children, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. Children should not have to endure such at their young age. Now, isn't that ironic? Children should not have to endure such at their young age. But he didn't think that Ramirez Satterwhite should not have had to endure such things at his young age. Because here's the thing, even if he thinks that he's not that young man's father, even if he knows that he isn't, wouldn't the right thing to do would have been to go and take the DNA test to prove just that? But instead he did nothing but fight, gaslight, and deflect. That's what he's been doing all this time. Until this man's 30, he's 30 years of age by now. Over 30 years of age. But when he was a child, did he even think or care about any of that? No. So I find that interesting. But let's continue. He says, it is unfair to have to try to understand inexplicable degrees of malice meant to destroy families and human spirit. What about Ramirez's human spirit? What about his mother's before she passed away? My heart and support goes out to true victims in the world. So Ramirez isn't a victim? Okay, of neglect, abandonment, allegedly, who have to watch their life story be dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake psychics, will believe the idiotic claims that you have levied against me, that if not for the seriousness surrounding harm to kids would be laughable. I look forward to showing you just how different I am. Well, that all sounded good, I have to say that. But here's the thing. He said he's a young man from the projects of Brooklyn, and we don't play those type of games. We have a strict code of honor. And we protect children. Jay-Z, when have you protected children? And specifically in Marcy's projects in Brooklyn. When has he ever? I have several questions, but let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because Jay-Z's just tooting his own horn as far as I'm concerned. Because, I did a bit of research on the Marcy housing projects, and there's been many kids killed there, teenagers specifically, in shootouts and things like that, all nefarious, one dead, one left paralyzed, partially paralyzed. I mean, just different things. Okay, so was he protecting any of them? But further, let's talk about it because there's a list of the 10 most infamous, let me just go back, a list of the 10 most infamous housing project shootings or the most infamous housing projects. And this one that's number 2 on the list is the Marcy houses in Brooklyn. And here's what they say about it. The Marcy houses were completed a few years after World War II in 1949. The project is comprised of 27 six-story buildings with 1,717 apartments and nearly 4,500 residents. A notable former resident of this project is rapper Jay-Z, who has described the homes as a block away from hell. Okay, the place where news cameras never come. One frequent visitor to the projects, however, is the NYPD. Gang disputes are not uncommon, and residents often hear the cracking of bullets. In 2014, 4 teenagers were shot and 1 killed in the Marcy houses due to turf wars. Jay-Z, where were you for the protection? Okay, Jay-Z was a part of the problem is all I'm saying. Now, I'm not going in on him for the way he grew up or he was in an impoverished community and all of that, because really it's a good thing that he made it out of the gutter. But the bottom line is, don't sit there and try to act like you were some saint when you were there or that you are now, because the fact of the matter is, while he was there, he was in fact a thug himself. He was a part of the problem. So how was he protecting kids? Crack hit the Marcy houses in the 1980s like a ton of bricks. Many young children began selling the drug just to pay their addicted parents' utility bills. Jay-Z himself admits to succumbing to the drug trade, selling crack in Marcy as a teenager. But he's protecting kids. Now, violence overtook his life when he was just 9 years old. A gang member stabbed his uncle to death. On December the 20th of 2015, 2 police officers were shot and killed a block from the Marcy homes. Since the shooting, police have been scarce in Marcy. Some of the residents are quite pleased about the lack of officers, stating that their presence can often cause more issues, while others worry for their safety. Okay. He said he has codes and honors and they don't play that kind of stuff. Well, I have to ask myself, if he has codes and honor, why didn't he come out and speak against Diddy? I have several questions. And also, he was at those parties. That's not alleged. He was at the parties. Y'all saw the video. Okay, he was at some of those Diddy parties. And so with that all being said, I just have questions. Okay, I just have several questions at the end of the day. Now, let's talk about Basquiat. For those of you who don't know who Jean-Michel Basquiat is and why Jay-Z is masquerading as him, now, he was a neo-expressionist painter in the 1980s. He's best known for his primitive style and his collaboration with pop artist Andy Warhol. So, Jean-Michel Basquiat first attracted attention for his graffiti under the name Asamo in New York City. He sold sweatshirts and postcards featuring his artwork on the streets before his painting career took off. He collaborated with Andy Warhol in the mid-'80s, which resulted in a show of his work. Basquiat died on August the 12th of 1988 in New York City. And sadly, he died of a drug overdose. And, Jay-Z has been trying to emulate this man for years. He definitely has. And he even has mentioned him in numerous of his songs. Okay? He's mentioned him in several songs. Okay? Now, with that all being said, Basquiat was bisexual. Okay? They praised him for LGBTQ History Month. So let's talk about it. This February, we are proud to honor LGBTQ History Month, a month-long annual celebration in remembrance of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender history. It looks back at the history of gay rights and celebrates how far we have come in the fight for equality. Over this month, we look back at the lives of people who made an impact in the field of arts, culture, and science, as well as prominent figures in the LGBTQ community. Today, we celebrate Jean-Michel Basquiat. He was born in Park Slope, Brooklyn, to a Haitian father and a Puerto Rican mother. His cultural heritage provided inspiration, and he would often incorporate Spanish words in his artworks. After being hit by a car when he was 8 years old, his mother bought a copy of Gray's Anatomy to read whilst he was recovering, and this provided inspiration for art later in his life. He also named his band Gray, which referenced the book. Basquiat did not have a formal art education, neither did he go to art school. He learned his art skills from visiting art galleries and was inspired by the music his father played. Basquiat was bisexual, and his girlfriend Susan Marlock, who financially supported him as a waitress during this period, later described his asexuality as not monochromatic. It did not rely on visual stimulation, such as a pretty girl. It was a very rich, multichromatic asexuality. Is that how yours is too, JT? I have several questions. Okay. He was attracted to people for all different reasons. They could be boys, girls, thin, fat. Let me run that by you again in case you missed it. They could be boys, girls, thin, fat. She didn't say men or women. She specifically said boys, girls, thin, fat. Maybe she was talking about adults. I don't know, but I'm just telling you what she said. Now, pretty or ugly. It was, I think, driven by intelligence. He was attracted to intelligence more than anything, and to pain. To pain. That sounds like some of the stuff that they claimed Diddy was doing, and also something that was in that lawsuit pertaining to Jay-Z and Diddy. I'm not saying that these allegations are true. I'm just saying this sounds like it when you talk about pain during sex. So in 1982, he also dated then unknown singer Madonna. His signature artistic motif, the crown, had three peaks symbolizing his three royal lineages, which were the poet, the musician, and the great boxing champion. At age 22, he was the youngest to exhibit at the Whitney Biennial. He was deeply affected by the death of Michael Stewart. Okay, I think that's enough. I think that's enough on Basquiat. Because surely you all get the gist of it at this point. So why is Jay-Z, Laverne said it sounds like S&M stuff. Yeah, it does. Why is Jay-Z, emulating this man, dressing like him, doing his hair like him and all that stuff? And like I said, he's talked about this man in a myriad of his songs. So let me pull that up real quick. Everyone, please like and share. And while I'm finding this, let's have a brief word from our sponsor over at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Kratz. You can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay? Now, I'm sorry, but right here, look at this. With the sunglasses, the hairstyle, even dressing like this man. Okay? Even dressing. Look over here. Now, he went from being a whole thug, okay? King of the streets, the king of New York, the king of Brooklyn, to imitating a bisexual artist? Now, let us not forget that Jonathan Hay, the former publicist of Rihanna, said, in fact, and he said that it's not allegedly. Jonathan Hay said that Jay-Z is bisexual. Now, that's not a big deal, okay, because nobody cares what somebody does with their private parts and all of that. But the fact of the matter is, when you're married and you have children, and you live in this whole alleged double life, and I'm not saying that he is, but that's just speculation, mind you. I just find it all interesting. That's all I'm saying. I just find it all interesting. And he seems to have this obsession with Basquiat. Okay? I mean, always talking about this man. Always talking about this man. Now, let's talk about some of his song lyrics. Okay, so now here's what they say. Mazawa Now, this is an Asian person who bought a Basquiat painting. Mazawa is such a fan of Basquiat that last year, hold on, let me take this off the screen. So like stuff, everyone please like and share. Y'all are terrible. Hold on, let me put my overlay back up here. Okay, there we go. Now, here's the thing. They said that he was such a fan of Basquiat that last year he bought another painting of his for $57.3 million. Wow, I did not know this man's painting sold for that much. But let me continue. But the art collector has company when it comes to his love of Basquiat, Brooklyn's own Jay-Z. Okay? So Hove hasn't dropped quite as much cash to own a piece of the artist's legacy, but he has, however, immortalized the late painter on wax. Your boy has been name-dropping Basquiat in songs for years, bragging about Blue Ivy owning a Basquiat painting and even getting into a verbal dart match with Drake over his love for the artist. In Jay's Basquiat lyrics, he captures the brilliance of the artist in a hip-hop context. So let's go down memory lane with 6 of Jay-Z's lyrics that celebrate Jean-Michel Basquiat. BBC Magna Carta Holy Grail, that's the name of the song, where he says, Britney Biatch, MCM seats $150 stitch, Versace plates, got the Basquiat collab with Versace's plates. Okay, Jay-Z dropped $4.5 million for a Basquiat painting called Mecca. $4.5 million. In his song Picasso Baby, Magna Carta Holy Grail. Now, mind you, Picasso Baby, that's the one where he had Marina Abramovich in the video with him, casting spells and doing a whole ritual. And for those just looking around, you know, they're watching it all go down, likely just thought they were just dancing. They were doing a whole ritual, okay? And we can get more into that on another video. Now, in this song, he says, it ain't hard to tell, I'm the new Jean-Michel. I'm the new Jean-Michel, he says. Please pay attention. The Brooklyn rapper is claiming his place at the top of his art form. Okay, he says, yellow Basquiat in my kitchen corner. Go ahead, lean on that ish. Blue, you own it. This lyric is referring to the artist's painting Charles I, a work of art in yellow and blue that Jay-Z wouldn't mind letting Blue ruin because she owns it. That's crazy, but you know opulence. Most Kings, another song. Inspired by Basquiat, my chariot's on fire. Everybody took shots, hit my body up, I'm tired. Now, at the time Jay-Z was holding tight to his crown as the king of hip-hop, he owned a Basquiat painting that inspired this song, which he mentioned in his book, Decoded. Rich Forever, 3 Keys. He says, millions on the wall in all my rooms. Ninjas couldn't F with my daughter's room. Ninjas couldn't walk in my daughter's socks. Basquiat. I ran through that $150 live. Nation fronted me. Okay, it's safe to say that Jay-Z spent tons of money on art, and Blue and the new twins are basically growing up in a museum. All right. And then in We Made It, he says, sorry, Mrs. Drizzy, for so much art talk. Silly me rapping about ish that I really bought. Now, while he doesn't mention Basquiat by name, we know what he means when he says art talk. Is Jay-Z the Basquiat of hip-hop? How sure, Hove sure thinks so. And we have a feeling that Samo would have been a fan of Sean Carter. Kudos to Jay for always honoring the legacy of the late, great Jean-Michel Basquiat. Now, let's talk about why he's so obsessed with this man, because clearly that's an obsession. You're talking about this man in all of these different songs. You're talking about him in your book, Decoded. You're dressing like him, got your hair like him. You've emulated this man for years. You've purchased his art. He's not just a fan, okay? He's not just a fan. He sees himself in Basquiat. Okay, because Basquiat was bisexual, and I believe that Jay-Z is. I don't know for sure, but I believe he absolutely is. It's long been rumored, and it's clearly been said. Okay. And at the end of the day, I want you all to think about many of these celebrities with the dark side of the industry. I've told you how they worship Baphomet, Moloch, okay, Baal, Beelzebub, and all of that. And at the end of the day, Jay-Z is a big fan of Aleister Crowley. He had the Do As Thou Wilt on his sweatshirt. Clearly, he's been reading that man's works and studying it. And he's good friends with the AKA Hollywood witch, okay, Marina Abramovich, who also studied under Aleister Crowley or studied his works and practices. There's pictures of her. There's a picture of her with Aleister Crowley, a picture of him beside her. Okay, so clearly she likes him as well. With that all been said, I want you all to think about how these people engage in these acts of how do I want to say this? They engage in these acts of messing around with the same sex, right? Because that is a way for them to get put on. That is almost like the initiation ritual. Okay. And keep in mind, though some of us call them the Illuminati, they don't call themselves that. They refer to themselves as the initiates. Okay. And that's likely because they have to get initiated in. With that all being said, these people who worship Baphomet, and I'm not saying that Jay-Z does, but I'm saying I think that Jay-Z does. Baphomet is transgender. Baphomet, the original statues of Baphomet, because now they tried to change it a little bit, but the original statues and images of Baphomet have breasts at the top, okay, and then manly and animal-like at the bottom. Okay, so I just want you all to pay attention. So if you're worshiping that, that's what you're into. Okay, that's just what it is. If you're worshiping Baphomet, these are some of the things that you're into. Okay, so I just want you all to pay attention. So now is this why Jay-Z is going around here and acting like an iconic bisexual artist? Because you have to ask yourself, is this what people usually do when they leave Marcy Project housing? Is this what they usually do after living a whole thug life? Is this what they do when they're supposed to be a so-called gangster rapper and they're supposed to be so hardcore? I'm just saying. I find it interesting that now he's walking on the sunny side of the street. That's all I'm saying. And so please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to go to some videos I want you all to hear. And this is another thing. I meant to tell you all this. Did anybody notice that in one of Jay-Z's songs, he clearly threw shade at Aaliyah after she was dead? Did y'all know that? I can't remember the name of the song, but he clearly said, and you can look this up for yourself, he said, just make sure the plane you own is bigger than your carry-on baggage. Now, we all know that they said that Aaliyah's plane crashed because she had too many suitcases and stuff, and the plane was overweight. It was weighted down the plane, and that's what led to the crash, allegedly. But just make sure the plane you're on is bigger than your carry-on baggage. Now, who does that? Let's also not forget that Mary J. Blige said that Aaliyah's death was a spiritual sacrifice, or no, I'm sorry, a spiritual murder. Literally what she said, a spiritual murder. And then she said, from what I was told, it wasn't supposed to go down like that. Well, how was it supposed to go down, Mary J.? And what exactly were you told? I just want you all to pay attention. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's go to what Sloan Bella, aka the fake psychic, as Jay-Z referred to her as, because y'all know that too was talking about, like I told you days ago, about Jay-Z. Here we go.
Headed for the next 3 years, 25, 26, and 27, with the beginning initial stages of the knockdown when it comes to Jay-Z. When they take him down, they're going to take Beyonce down behind him. And here's what I'm getting. I am getting both Jay-Z and Beyonce because, see, he procures her out there. He is her handler, and he is the one that pushes her out there public, and then he profits off her. So we're looking at, she was chosen for him. It is a karmic thing looking at their chart, but she was chosen for him in order to help him get where he needed to go. So she's the muse, but let's use this in a different way. Sometimes we use the word muse in the terms of profiteering off of it. He's very aware of entertainers, male and female, where he needs to go to keep his money coming in and what he's actually selling. He is going to be shaken up. Now, what I do see 3 years from now, him, his wife, and his kid, I don't know if there's more than one kid, see them with suitcases, and I literally see them leaving. So their residence will no longer be in the United States. This is what I'm seeing. And this happens by 2027, if not sooner. 2025 through 2027, and it's going to start crumbling. Okay, so it's the next 3 years.
You all heard that, and he wanted to call Sloan Bella a fake psychic. No, she's very good. She's always on point as far as I'm concerned. But now let's go to this video of Jonathan Hay talking about these people that are undercover in the industry. Now, this isn't the one where he's talking about Jay-Z. I didn't have time to find that one, but trust me, he absolutely said it. And I think I've shown it to you all before anyway. And he said it wasn't alleged. Now, that's what he said. That's not what I'm saying. But just pay attention. Okay, so let me put my overlay. I don't know why I did that. Let me put the overlay back up.
And so I'm upstairs with King Tech. King Tech is Sway's partner. It's Sway and Tech of the morning show. They've been around since the 90s. They interviewed Tupac and Biggie. King Tech and Sway have their own show on Shade 45. And Tech we were upstairs working on music, and he was like, hey, don't go downstairs. Don't go downstairs. And then in between the music, like when when you're recording music and it would stop, you would hear, I heard all these noises, like it sounded like a porn, right? And I was, thinking, what is this? And I noticed that Tech, we try to get the music back on real quick. And I'm like, are they shooting porn down there? Is what I was thinking. I know that the two women that were part of the show had left. It was just the guys. So I told him I was walking out of the studio room. And he was like, where are you going? Don't go downstairs. Don't go downstairs. I was like, I'm going to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, and I could just hear it, and it was just so loud, and it was just men, and I'm just like shocked. So I try to peek my head around, and I could just see like the shadows, and I could see like a part of like Rizzo, and he was, naked, and you could just hear them, all the men with all the sex noises going at it, like aggressive, and obviously with like RZA and Khaled and Sway, and I still don't know who the other person was. You could identify all their voices, and it was loud and it was vulgar and it was absolutely crazy. So then I walked back in the room, and I told Tech's playing the music, and I went up to him. I was like, what are they doing downstairs? He's like, oh, nothing, just they're working on the stuff, just whatever it was. He was just like, BSing me. But at that point, I'm listening for it, and I could keep hearing it. I was disgusted because I looked up to Sway Calloway as a journalist for so long, and he's married. And I looked up to Khaled, and he's married. It wasn't necessarily the homosexuality that bothered me as much as it was the adultery that was happening. Like, these are men that I really looked up to, and the dishonesty and deceit from someone like RZA, who constantly preaches about being good and being wholesome, and and here he is, cheating on his wife with a man. Same with DJ Khaled.
Okay, all clearly nefarious. All nefarious, and pay attention, because didn't Jonathan Oddie say that DJ Khaled was zesty as well? Honey, this is all so crazy. But I guess this is how it all goes down. I want you all to pay attention. Okay, I want you all to pay attention. Let's look at this clip of Jay-Z and his ex-bestie. Lights up, everyone. Listen, you guys. I need you guys to do me a favor. I need y'all to hit that like button, because when you hit the like button, that gets more engagement for the video. Okay, we have over 1,000 people in the chat. Let's get those likes up. Okay, please like and share. I'm going to have to start turning the chat on subscribers only. All right, I'm going to have to start turning the chat on subscribers only. All right, please pay attention. Please pay attention. The least y'all can do, honey, I'm out here putting out these receipts. And much of the stuff I put out, y'all hear it here first. Okay? And so you could at least like the video. All right? Now, here we go. Matter of fact, I'm not going to put an overlay on this. I'm just going to mute the sound, because they're playing music in the background. Watch his wave. Y'all see that? Now, watch how Jay-Z waves again. It's not all about Jay-Z. Look at Khaled. All right, I just want y'all to pay attention. Why was Jay-Z waving like that? He was waving like I was waving when I was on the homecoming court in high school. That's what y'all to pay attention. Okay, I thought that was real cute, mind you. And I'm sorry, that wasn't him and his bestie. This one is. Hold on, I'm going to mute the sound to this one too, because they're playing music. Going to share my screen. Let's get those likes up, guys. You can do it. Doesn't cost you a thing. Mm-mm. Yep. Living lavish. Okay. They were living lavish. I just hate to see it just all go downhill, honestly. Okay. I mean, for the alleged things that they've been accused of, mind you. So now let's go to see what this attorney had to say about Jay-Z. But first, no, before we go to that, let's go to this first. This is Jay-Z out here with the paparazzi. Diddy said, "You're looking good, Daddy." Yeah, he said, "Look at his shoes." That's what he said when he was showing off Jay-Z's outfit. He said, "Look at his shoes." Now let's go to what this attorney had to say about Jay-Z, about his the allegations against him thus far. Okay, here we go.
There's already a lot happening with this Jay-Z case. So let me give you a quick rundown of the things that have happened since Jay-Z has been added to the case. First up, Alex Spiro entered a notice of appearance for Jay-Z. Notice of appearance is just a lawyer filing the formal paperwork to say, hey, I'm the lawyer representing this person on this case. So Spiro is representing Jay-Z. And if you remember the Alec Baldwin case, you may remember Alex Spiro.
Did you take the rounds that were provided to you? By the way, they were Starline Brass Nickel Primer live, weren't they?
I don't recall.
You don't recall? Really?
That is what I said.
If you didn't watch that case, you missed a time. Now, one of the first things that Alex did when he joined was file a motion for the plaintiff, the person suing Diddy and Jay-Z for this incident, to identify herself or for the case to be dismissed. Specifically, the docs say, quote, defendant, meaning Jay-Z, is respectfully seeking either dismissal of the allegations or disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Fair is fair. It is not consistent with justice, fairness, or the rules governing federal proceedings for the plaintiff and her counsel to smear defendant's good name in ways that are calculated to feed media coverage and thus inflict maximum public relations damage while the core fact of plaintiff's identity remains wholly hidden from the view. In this motion, they also confirmed that the extortion lawsuit that was filed on November 18th against Tony Busby and his firm was indeed filed by Jay-Z, which we already knew. The doc says, quote, on November 18th, 2024, Mr. Carter filed a complaint against attorney Busby and his law firm for his extortionate conduct. In retaliation, plaintiff and attorney Busby filed the amended complaint. They did so, however, only following a failed attempt by attorney Busby to obtain a restraining order against Mr. Carter's counsel. Hold up. One law firm trying to get a restraining order against another law firm. Is that what I just read? Child, this is already feeling messy. I'm not going to recap this entire 29-page document, but basically, Jay-Z's attorney is arguing that the law requires that plaintiffs have to identify themselves unless they can prove that there is an extraordinary reason that they shouldn't have to. And that extraordinary reason has to outweigh or matter more than the interests of the public and the interests of the defendant. Now, Jay-Z's attorney does include a list of what the Second Circuit Court, which is a federal appellate court, has said are extraordinary reasons that someone could remain anonymous. And some of those reasons include if the allegations are highly sensitive and personal, then a person can remain anonymous. But in regards to this reason, Jay's attorney cites some case law that says, quote, allegations of SA by themselves are not sufficient enough to allow a person to remain anonymous. They then also note that judges in the same district of this case have made people reveal their identities even when the cases are highly sensitive and personal. So apparently this isn't a real reason. Another reason a person could remain anonymous is if there is a risk of harm to that person or anyone connected to them. And in regards to this, Jay-Z's attorney says that Jay-Z doesn't know who this person is or who they could even be. So he's obviously not threatened her. And the plaintiff's attorney doesn't seem to be claiming that he has either. Jay's attorney does know a case in which a person was allowed to proceed anonymously, but in that instance, evidence from a medical professional was submitted, showing that if that person's name was revealed, it would cause her, quote, psychological and emotional pain so intense that it would threaten her stability, her safety, and even her life. So again,
Keep forgetting I'm muted. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there because here's the bottom line. They said that Jay-Z hadn't threatened her. Well, he couldn't threaten her if he doesn't know who she is. And maybe that's why she doesn't want him to know who she is. Okay? So with that all being said, let's continue. Miss J said, troll alert. Moderators, you know what to do if you see somebody in here trolling. Okay, you know what to do because I don't have time for it. Trolls are not welcome in the chat. So with that all being said, we already discussed that. Okay, but let's hear what Lord Jamar had to say about Jay-Z's obsession with Basquiat. And let's not forget 50 Cent has some things to say about it too. I've already told you all that in the past, so I'm not going to play that. I'm going to put an overlay on this because this is a oh, and I forgot to show you all this. I'm glad I clicked on this. Okay. So hold on. We're going to listen to this real quick.
Some of these rumors been around about people for a long time. You've been hearing little things about them. And have I heard little shit about Jay-Z? Yup. Do I think that he's trying to emulate himself and present himself as a gay painter, like to look like Basquiat? Yup, I do. I think 50 Cent was right about that. I think that's a code to, especially to white people, that he's approachable, he's cultured, but Basquiat was also bisexual. So is that a code that you're trying to tell these white people too?
Let me tell you something. Lord Jamar brings up a very interesting point, but here's the thing. He doesn't have to tell them in code. They already know what he is, okay? And I'm not saying that he's bisexual, but I'm saying that if he is bisexual, they already know that, okay? That's likely how he got to where he is, okay? Now, what he's in fact doing, in my opinion, is he's showing himself for who he really is. He's not really hiding it. Okay. Okay. That's part of the initiation. Let it be known. Do you all understand what I'm saying? Let me try to be more specific. So you know how Diddy does a whole lot of zesty things whilst he's in the company of all these women and, you know, acts like he's with women and all of that. But Diddy also has let it be known that he's zesty. He wore the wig and the black lace. He's been hugging all over men. Okay, remember when it was during the pandemic and he was doing the little concert or whatever he was doing online with the dancing and playing the music and all that? There was a Caucasian man that came to Diddy's house and Diddy said, "Oh, you're such a handsome man." I mean, who does that? So they subtly, okay, they do it subtly. They let you know who and what they are. That's a part of the initiation, that you can't just tuck it away. You can't just completely hide it. You have to show things about yourself that let it be known. Now, basically, that is kind of accurate what Lord Jamar says as I'm thinking about it, because he is letting people know. Okay, he is showing them who he is, but Lord Jamar says that's his way of letting them know he's approachable. Well, what he's doing is not these elite wealthy men that he's around, not these business people, these big time execs, you know, these people that are the gatekeepers and all of that. He doesn't have to let them know because, like I said, I believe they already know clearly, but that is his way of letting other people know, because that's what they want him to do. That's part of the deal. That's part of the deal when you worship Baphomet. And again, I'm not saying Jay-Z worships Baphomet, but I think he worships Baphomet. And I'm not saying that Jay-Z is bisexual, but I think that he is. And I'm not saying that the elites have him doing any of this stuff, but I believe that they do. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, and I'm entitled to it. But let's continue.
By trying to emulate this guy, I don't know, but it doesn't look good. Why do people have such an affinity for Basquiat anyway? I think it's trash. Let me just put it out there.
Lord Jamar said he thinks it's trash. Well, he doesn't like his artwork, basically. I mean, I'm not crazy about it. I wouldn't call it trash, but it's just nothing that I would purchase myself. Okay, even if I could afford it, because $52 million, I don't have that kind of cash at hand. Okay, that's what I don't have. Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, now let's go to what Choke No Joke had to say. And again, let me put this overlay up. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Okay, let's get the likes up, guys. All right, here we go.
Brunch. That's one of the things that just constantly plays in my mind because everybody used to be at that brunch, especially Hove. And seeing how Hove has been extremely quiet, radio silent right now. Why do you think that Hove might be next? Because I have that same feeling, but why do you think Hove, he might be next?
Who was he hanging out with the most in the last few years?
They were doing photo shoots together and everything.
Did he, right?
Brunch. Yeah.
Okay. So birds of a feather flock together, right?
Wow.
So he not far behind. And if Jay-Z was hanging out with Puff like this, and you saying Puff was this nigga, what type of nigga is Jay-Z to be hanging out with a nigga like that?
It was called Black Excellence, man. I remember that. It was called the Black Excellence.
The Black Excellence crew is a code word for allegedly code word for the secret gay niggas and women in the industry that's rich. That's the Black Excellence mean to me. You know what I mean? Because the motherfuckers, they more Black excellent than me. I'm Black excellence. I stand on integrity.
Okay, I'm going to stop right there because that was like an 11-minute clip. And so I just want you all to pay attention. Y'all heard what he said, right? Y'all heard what he said. Now I'm going to tell you this. Now, the insider did, in fact, tell me that there's a group of these people, but they call them the Black Boule. They call them the Black Boule. And that they do engage in zesty behavior and that they record people doing these things, okay, whether they've given them some sort of substance for them to be able to do it, without consenting or otherwise. Said that they make the men and the women do it. This is what the insider said. Now, I wasn't there, so I can't say, but the insider also told me that this young man named Tyran Ty Smith, who's a close friend of Jay-Z's and a senior executive at Rock Nation. Smith has worked as Jay-Z's road manager, managed music acts, and co-created Carter Faculty, a joint label deal with Def Jam Records. He is also the godfather of Jay's children, Blue, Rumi, and Sir. Smith has attended many Rock Nation events, I bet he has, including the Rock Nation pre-Grammy brunch, Rock Nation, the brunch, and the Manhattan Brew and Vine grand opening. This guy who is the insider, and I've tried to get him on the show, but he won't come on here. And I told him, you don't even have to show your face. Maybe I'll convince him. But this person told me that Ty is more than just Jay-Z's day one. Okay, he told me, please pay attention that he's more than Jay-Z's day one. Now, I don't know if he's more than Jay-Z's day one. I'm just telling you what the insider said. But I find it all very interesting, the kind of pictures that they take together. And, they've been, I believe, childhood friends. This is also, mind you, the short one, that's him. This is also the man who allegedly, during the Best of Both Worlds tour, when Jay-Z and R. Kelly had that beef, and then Jay-Z's goons attacked R. Kelly allegedly, and then Tay is allegedly the one that sprayed R. Kelly in the face with the pepper spray. I mean, guys in the chat, is that how you put your hands around your besties? Or how about this? Who does all of that? Okay, who does all of that? I just have several questions, but hey. So, I'm just saying. What's really going on here? I mean, I think if we just look at the things that have been put forth, the allegations or whatever, we can't substantiate them and say they're true or not. And remember, everything's alleged, okay? And specifically these charges, Jay-Z is presumed innocent until proven guilty, as is Diddy. Okay, but that all being said, With that all being said, I find it all interesting. And is this the real reason Jay-Z's masquerading as Basquiat 2.0? Well, I believe it is. I believe Jay-Z's quietly showing his true self. You see, because another thing that these people do, according to the Insider, which I had figured this out a few years ago, is they take on these alter egos. That's what they do. They each take on an alter ego who's like another segment of themselves, okay? Like the real them. And so Basquiat is apparently Jay-Z's alter ego. And so that would mean that's the real him. Okay. Now we know that the alter ego is just a figment of yourself, supposedly. But in these cases with these initiates, according to the Insider, that's actually the real them. Okay. So Beyonce, aka Sasha Fierce, I'm just saying. Now, with that all being said, I'm about to get into this Billy Carson stuff. And so then we can be out of here because I really have something to do. I have a lot to do, frankly. But before I do, let's talk about Ray J. What he said in that TMZ documentary. Someone made a TikTok about it. They said something about Ray J was talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now, I'm going to put up an overlay on this because y'all know TMZ does not play about their content. And even though this is a TikTok video, we're going to put something over this because I don't want any smoke. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Here we go.
Finally admits that Jay-Z and Beyonce tried to pay him to not tell what he knows about them involved in the Diddy party. I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I'm gonna just get to the clip, man. Hey, roll that clip.
Beyonce's in it. Jay-Z's in it. You're gonna get this person, they're gonna come out, you know, this happened to this person. Really was, don't say what you know. Here's some money to be quiet. And I'm saying that.
Ray, I want to make sure I understand this. Are these high-profile people calling you because they've had some affiliation with Diddy that they don't want to come out, and they think you might be the vessel for it coming out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I don't even know why I just said it, but I said it, so what? Now they gotta be mad. Come get me, fuck it.
Now they gotta be mad. Fuck 'em. Come and get me. He already know Jay-Z and Beyonce probably gonna put them goons out or somebody out behind that bullshit, Ray J. Ray J double guessing that shit. He said, I don't even know why I said it, man. Fuck. Said it, man. He know them high profile, man, but fuck. Hey, we are not finna let this shit die out. Cause you know, once people go to trial and stuff so long, people let it die. Now the hell now. I'm gonna keep this shit in y'all face, man. Drop your comments, man. This shit crazy, man.
Well, he's not lying. It is crazy. Okay. Ray J said, I don't even know why I just said it. But remember, after he said it, Ray J said that somebody shot out his car windows. Now, I don't know if somebody really did, but that's what he said. Said somebody shot at him or something like that, busted out his windows and all that stuff. So I just want you all to pay attention. Okay. Now let's talk about Billy Carson, because Billy Carson has said that he is going to anybody and everybody who's making videos about him. He's going to sue, and he's going to take all the money. He's going to hit him in their pockets because he can, because he has it like that, because he has the money to do so. And he's going to drain the bank accounts. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing, but he basically was saying that he's going to come for the cash, and then he's going to take that cash, and he's going to build. What did he say? Because I wrote it down. Said he's going to buy land. Him and his wife. He said him and his wife are going to buy land, and they're going to build houses for the homeless. I'm calling bullcrap. I'm calling bullcrap. Yo, yeah, he probably will sue people, myself included. But go right ahead, Billy Carson. I have nothing to fear. But here's the thing. It's bullcrap when he says that he's going to take the money and buy land and build houses for the homeless. Because here's why. Billy Carson, sir, if you're watching, you could already have done that. You could already be doing that. You're riding around in Bentleys. You've made all of this money, sir. So if you really wanted to do anything for the homeless, you could have already done so. So sit down somewhere, you and your wife, as far as I'm concerned. Okay? That's what you can do. You can sit down somewhere. And here's another thing I want you all to pay attention to. All of these grifters, they all follow the same blueprints when they get exposed. And what is that, you may ask? Well, they start sending cease and desist, just like Wig #1 sent me a cease and desist and sent one to Meech and sent one to Angel Love when we were exposing her for film. Okay, this is what they do. They send out these cease and desist to try to intimidate people from speaking the truth. Well, nobody intimidates the queen. You don't fear anyone at all, ever, for any reason. What are you going to do besides get mad? So with that all being said, this is what they always do. They want to start talking about suing and sending cease and desist and all this, that, and the third. This is why they do it, because they're mad, because their grift has now been interrupted. Now they got to come back and start explaining, trying to make up excuses for the BS. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. But let's get into these receipts because, sir, people say you're a whole criminal. Now, I don't know if you're a whole criminal or not, but I know what this paperwork says. And if this paperwork is talking about you, well, doesn't look good. That's all I'm saying. So let me just find the first page that I want to pull up, because I screenshot this stuff from the original person who posted it. And it's certified, electronically certified court record. Billy Carson, who are you going to sue, sir? Who are you going to sue? Because if anybody sues me, they're getting a whole countersuit. Please pay attention. That's what they're going to get. And I'm very legal savvy, so pay attention. Now, here it is right here. Y'all see this? Y'all see this electronically certified court record? This is the cover page. Broward County Clerk of Courts. Are y'all seeing this? Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about some of the stuff that it says on this paperwork, because it was about 6 pages at least. Hold on. Let me see where I'm going to start. Okay, let's go to this right here. It's all nefarious. All nefarious, and to think that some people were actually in here last night trying to go in on me. Just a handful of people, but nonetheless, trying to go in on me for basically going in on him. Okay, True Snow TV says JT Pocket Watcher has been on his ace. Yeah, I'm sure he has. He also went in on Wig after I exposed Wig as well. But let us not put other YouTubers' names in the chats, beloved. Now I'm gonna let you slide because I happen to like JT from Pocket Watching. Pocket Watching with JT. Okay, but be mindful not to promote other people's channels in the Queen's chat. Thank you, specifically because people just don't want to shout the Queen out, even though they copy my talking points and receipts. Okay, so now look at this. All right, y'all see that Broward County Sheriff's Office booking report? Tyrone Carson William. That's the name on here. Okay, and then it says Billy Cameron Carson. All right, I just want y'all to pay attention. It's all nefarious. And y'all should know who got these receipts. Who always goes and digs up stuff like this on people? Besides Taharka from Morge World TV. Okay, so shout out to him for these receipts. But with that all being said, let me share my screen again. It's just real crazy that he's talking about, he was literally bragging. Okay, that's what it sounded like he was doing. You can tell that he is narcissistic, and he's saying that they want to take him down and all of that. Well, maybe they do, but he's giving them a good reason to do so, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, the items and or documents described on this and the following pages are within the state's possession for control and accept information concerning subparagraph 2, available for inspection, copy, and testing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, all written, recorded, and or oral statements of the co-defendant if any contained in reports and records. Okay, so I guess they got files on them. They also said something about an alleged fingerprint and all kinds of stuff. Something about an alleged fingerprint And his face was on this document. Okay. Now, this is an electronically filed one, but according to Taharka, he had one that was mailed to him, and he said that one has his face on it. Literally has his face on it. All right. I'm just saying something about him going into a bank allegedly and trying to open an account with a fraudulent identification, a fraudulent license. And then the police showed up because the clerk ran a check and found out the license was not really registered. And then the police showed up allegedly and then went out and searched his car and found another fake license with the same name on it and another form of identification, a bill or something with another name on it. And that he supposedly told them, this is all alleged, supposedly told the officer that he was trying to get a bank account and he wouldn't be able to get one in his own name because he had bad credit. Okay, now this is all alleged, like I told you. All parties are presumed innocent until proven otherwise. Above defendant committed the crimes of unauthorized possession of a DL, okay, which is driver's license, and uttering a forged instrument, to wit. Above defendant entered Chase Bank, okay, at 12590 West Sunrise Boulevard with the intention of opening an account. Defendant issues the bank employee a fictitious Florida driver's license and a Visa credit card with the name Charlie Rubin on it. I checked the driver's license through teletype, which revealed that there was no record of the license. But he's suing who? I have several questions. I think we've seen enough. I think we have seen enough. Can somebody say it for me or say it with me? Fraud today. Okay? In the words of Wig. Okay, Wig says God today, but I'm saying no, fraud today. All right, please pay attention. This is all nefarious. And now he's talking about suing, and he said that they want to take him down so desperately. That's what he said. They're desperate to take him down because I guess he wants to say that they feel intimidated. I'm going to play the video, okay? And let me just give a shout out to this YouTuber. What do you mean? That's his name. What do you mean? Now I'm going to put an overlay on here. I'm going to go to the 18-minute mark. Hold on. Because I want you all to hear the arrogance in Billy Carson's voice. This dude really thinks he's something. And I guess he really was something until he got exposed. Now all bets are off. Okay? Now all bets are off. Okay, so likes up, everyone, please like and share. Hold on. Let me put an overlay on here real quick, beloveds. Okay, here we go. And I'm going to play a little music because I don't want any smoke. I don't know this young man. He might be okay with me using it, but you never know. Okay.
Talking like the main character in an action film. You're trying to put together a global network for one man. That's how scared you are. You guys are horrified of Billy Carson, aren't you? You're horrified. We got to end this guy. He's too big. You can't take down a self-made man. They have to network with hundreds of thousands of people all over the world to supposedly end Billy Carson's career. Not only are they not ending my career, they're making me more famous because they call my name out every 5 minutes. I'm on their tongue and their lips every minute of the day. When they go to sleep, they dream about me. When they wake up, the first thing they do before they kiss their wife or their boyfriend, they talk about me. They post me and call my name 24 hours a day, nonstop. They're absolutely infatuated with me. And nobody puts out more volume of videos and content than I do. Not nobody in the world. Not one single person. Oh, I got all the information. You think you have a big organization. What you don't know is you don't have as big an organization as you think. You got a lot of followers, which are just sheep. But I have people everywhere on the planet. I touch a percentage of the planet every day. Me, one man. One man. I touch a percentage of the planet. You guys haven't even come close to that. The RCMP, the BPD, the CAFC. Fortunately, I have fans in those places. You just never know when you're poking a real bear. So I want to thank these gangbangers for creating all this controversy and all this energy and stirring it up and then sending it to me because I'm taking it. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
And he consistently bragged about his connections to powerful people, threatening lawsuits and implying an untouchable status.
You think your cult is so huge and so massive. I've got people in every area of politics, and yes, I still call them polytricksers, but I've got people in politics. I've got people in three-letter agencies. They come on tour with me. I've got people in government. I've got people in countries, powerful people that support. I've got billionaires. I've got billionaires' numbers on my cell phone. Billionaires that I can just call right now and have casual conversations with. I hang out with them. We've got voice recordings of conversations that you guys have been putting out there. See, you don't know who's on the other end of that phone that supports us. You think they're supporting you. You never know when you're going to poke a bear. But the original video that I did not consent to, I'll be paid by pound of flesh for every appearance that it shows up on the entire internet. I will be. Trust me on this. Or there'll be judgments. And when you go to buy a house, or when you go to sell something, when you go to do anything, I'll have to get paid first. And I'm going to take all that money, all those winnings, and I'm going to buy a huge strip of land. Me and my wife already figured it out today. We're going to buy a huge strip of land, and we're going to build mini homes on there for homeless people with all the money.
All right, now, while his bravado might seem entertaining, it comes across as incredibly insecure and nothing more than a desperate attempt to recover from a poor debate performance. But I will...
Let me tell you all something. I saw some of you saying you couldn't hear it. I'm sorry. Okay, but I don't want any copyright issues or strikes. So that's why I played the music. Basically, he was just talking trash, said that he has all these politicians that are friends. He has people in high places, billionaires that he can call on the phone right now, and that him and his wife are going to sue the people or whatever and buy the land and the homes and all that stuff. That's basically what he said. Now, you can go find the interview on that young man's channel. The video on that young man's channel. And as a matter of fact, I'll drop the link to it. Okay, I'll drop the link to it in the chat so you can watch it in its entirety. And like I said, shout out to him, okay? That's the link to the video right there for anybody who couldn't hear. So here's the thing. He's just all cap. And second of all, he may be suing people and all of that, but what I'm saying he's cap about is him buying land and building homes for homeless people. He could already be doing that if he was so interested in doing so. The next thing I want to point out is this. I'm sorry. Say what? He's talking about suing people. What's he going to sue people for exactly? Is he going to sue people for defamation? I would think that's what he's talking about. That's where he's going with it because he sent the cease and desist. He already talked about, using his likeness and all of these things and supposedly said something about, hold on. I'm multitasking, you guys. Okay, and he supposedly said something about people talking about him going to jail. He said that wasn't him. He said the only time he ever went to jail was when he was 16. It was for a traffic violation. Okay, that's what he said. He said then somebody stole his identity. So apparently he's saying that these charges and things that are being shown, those are not him. Okay, I don't know if that's him or not, but he says it's not him and that he's going to be suing these folks. So here's the thing, though. Here's the problem with that. In his own arrogance, you see, I've told you all a myriad of times that there's 4 different elements you have to prove when you're trying to prove defamation, okay? You have to prove that what the person said about you was a lie. That's for number 1. It has to be a false statement, okay? Made out of malice, not just something somebody accidentally or whatever. And even if they accidentally said it, but specifically if it's done, to be malicious, okay? That's really even worse. Now, publication of the communication with a third party. So anybody saying things about him online would definitely be guilty of that because other people are watching it. Okay. And then it has to amount to fault or at least negligence. And then damages. You have to prove that you've lost something, that the person has caused you or the people have caused you to lose something as being money, finances, or hurting your reputation in some way. Now, here's the problem with that. for Billy Carson. He literally just said out of his own mouth that these people are making him even more famous. He didn't say anything about hurting. He didn't say anything about losing cash. He didn't say anything about people not following him. He said that they're making him more famous. So how are you losing anything, Mr. Carson, sir? Okay, do y'all see how his mouth is the source of his problems? His mouth is the source of his problems. So anyway, I just find it all so nefarious. Okay, Wick Leovan says, I would love to see this suing in court taking place. I have my popcorn ready, front row seat. I do too, beloved. I absolutely do too. Because this is all getting real crazy. All he's doing is making it so much worse for himself. Like, sir, you lost the debate. It's a wrap. Now, if he was smart, he would try to come forward and apologize to the people and say that, no one's perfect. I myself have clearly used some sources that weren't authentic or weren't, vetted accurately. We're human. Now, I never said that I know everything, that I'm the smartest person in the world, except that he almost did say that. He said he was one of the foremost scholars, biblical scholars in the world. See, when you say things like that and then you get proven to not be such, well, that's all it takes for people to start going in on you. It was the fact that he had no humility. He was not humble. He was pompous. He was bold, and he was prideful. And like I told you guys last night, pride goeth before the fall. And so here we are, Billy Carson. Now, I wish him well on his endeavors in the future, but he should let this be a lesson to him. You must humble yourself. You must not talk down on other people when you've risen to a certain status, especially when you've only gotten to that status by the same people that you now choose to speak and look down upon. Okay? That's what it looks like he did. And so now here we are, and he's now threatening to sue people, sending cease and desist letters, coming to people's homes at 2 and 3 in the morning, begging them to take down videos, threatening other people who dare to make videos about him. Who is he that we can't make videos about him? Who is he? Why is he exempt? People get exposed all the time. People get talked about every day, myself included. So with that, I don't get exposed because I don't do anything to get exposed, but who does he think he is? Okay, this is the man who said that he was God. He was the man who said that he was God and bragged on himself and, just pumped himself up, and he's gotten such a big head. You see, making all of this money and doing all of these things, he had this whole grift going, and nobody was the wiser. And what I want you all to pay attention to, now, I'm not shunning anyone who has been to jail or prison, because everyone is human and people make mistakes. We all fall short of the glory of God. But what I want to say is this. Anytime we expose a grifter, please pay attention. It is always for something fraudulent. Have you all not noticed that with the whole wig thing when I exposed her? She was convicted of bank fraud, wire fraud, mortgage fraud. These grifters. Because what did I tell you all 3 years ago, 2 years ago when I was exposing her and others? I said that these fraudulent people, these scammers, these grifters, when they get caught and go to prison, the entirety of the time they're there, all they do is start focusing on how they can legally scam, how they can commit legal frauds. And I know that sounds crazy. What's a legal fraud? Well, you understand what I'm saying. Not necessarily fraud, but how they can legally deceive people, trick people out of money. That's what they spend their time doing. And when they get out, that's what they do. It's a whole grift. Okay? And Billy Carson found a way to grift the people. And now he's been exposed and he's mad, just like all the fraudsters are, just like all the grifters are. And now he wants to start suing people and sending out cease and desist. It's the handbook, okay? It is the grifter's handbook and manual. This is what they always do. I mean, just take a look. Go down the trail on YouTube of all the people who've been exposed as grifters and see if they've not ever been arrested for something nefarious, specifically fraud. In some cases, even worse. And see if they've not always threatened or even actually sued people for exposing them. Okay? So with that all been said, I'm out of here. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. Hey, True Royal family. All right. So with that I've been saying, I didn't mean to put Dan's comment. I was trying to put True Royals up there, but I didn't see it. Okay, so anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. Please like and share. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful day. I love you all to life. I appreciate, getting the receipts from you guys. Y'all need to make sure you're liking and sharing these videos. All right, don't make the Queen get on you because y'all know that I'll start making it for subscribers early over here. All right. Juju said, love you to life, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Okay. And so with that being said, enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace. And keep those notifications on because if anything pops off today, y'all know that I'll be right black.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the Queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the Queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the Queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got